G20 we should study in according to the reference to India. That is, in the present scenario, what about the G20? With reference to India, that is why in the syllabus it is written. Even the one more country is added there, it can be G21, and in syllabus it is written with reference to India. That also you should teach, or the children should understand what about the G20. I told you the G means the group and 20 means the countries included there, and we are having 19 countries and European Union, and but this G20 has the summit has convened in India. That is the 18th summit held because these notes I wrote earlier, held on 9th and 10th September 2023 at Pragriti Bharata Mandapa, that is Pragriti Maidan Convention Center. On 9th September, the African Union was included in this. So now there are 21 countries are there. Now there are 21 countries are there. Even though, let me tell it as G20 itself, and because all the first pages, it is earlier, it has been before the submit, I have written the notes, and it is addressing the major issues related to global economy. Then it is aiming at the financial stability, climate change mitigation, sustainable development. It is the latest series in the post-war two initiatives aimed at, because post-war we have seen the Bretton Woods twins. Yes, let me tell you, this is a part of the interdisciplinary project also. In the Bretton Woods twins, IMF and IBRD has been convened, and later the WTO, and about 2/3 of world population comprises in the WTO, and 80% of gross world production and 75% of international trade. This is part of interdisciplinary project I have done. And here in India holds the presidency of G20 1st December 2022 to 30th November 2023. So understand that with reference to India, how it is G20. India holds presidency of G20 1st December 2022 to 30th November. Yes, this month, till this month 2023, India holds the presidency of G20. I know I told you it become 21 countries. As before the summit, this we read it as, we called it as G20. That is why. Then since 2008, convened at least once in a year. This G20 should be convened at least once in a year. Post-war settlement and the Bretton Woods institutions to pressure economic stability, full employment in the industrial world. Its framework was agreed upon at United Nations Monetary and Financial Conference held in July 1944 at Bretton Woods in New Hampshire, USA. So here, why this Bretton Woods and the IMF and IBRD, also for the World Organization. Later in 1947, GATT also, and GATT's organizational functions have been observed into WTO. Why I am talking about this here, as how the Silk Route, how the IMF, how the IBRD, how the GATT, WTO, that is a GATT's organization function, has been observed into WTO. All these are related. How you can relate it to, how the Silk Route can be related to G20. That is why I am taken into account this one also as a part of the interdisciplinary project. And come to the G20, more about it. There are several pre-conferences were engaged. There were several pre-conferences engaged with various stakeholders. Who are the various stakeholders? That is, they were engaged through different engagement groups. There is B20 is the business leaders, C20 is the civil society, L20 is land and employment leaders, S20, no, not S20 is the civil and academic delegates, Y20 is the change makers, U20 is the urban people, and WT20 is the women group. So these are the different pre conferences, because in the G20 all the details cannot be discussed. So there were several conferences were held to deal with the important matters about the globally we are looking forward. And yes, what about the aim of G20 in New Delhi summit? Yes, our motto now we can say was, or our motto is one earth, one family, one future, Vasudeva Kudumbagam. And G20 was founded by finance ministers and central bank governors of 7 countries: Canada, UK, France, Japan, Washington DC, US, Germany, and Italy. And other countries are Mexico, Indonesia, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, China, the Republic of Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, and European Union. G20 has two tracks, that is finance track, that is finance ministers and central bank governors, and Sherpa track, which is Sherpas led. The group does not have permanent secretariat. Yes, the G20 does not have the permanent secretariat. The presidency is supported by Troika, that is 3 countries coming together to deal with these conferences. And in India it was in 23. Yes, now it was in 23, and earlier 22 that was Indonesia, and coming in 24 it is Brazil. So that is how the Troika, and it is focusing on green development, climate finance. Yes, so the G20 priorities of India's this summit, looking forward, the green development, climate finance, lifestyle for life environment. Lifestyle for life environment, that means for the sustainable development or for the development of a nation and the whole world. We should protect our planet as people, prosperity of people, and for the planet. So that is the aim of our national education policy. So PPP, that is, it is for the prosperity of the people, for the planet, and maybe some difference. Anyway, the 3 things we have to focus: one is people, one is prosperity, and another is for the planet. So lifestyle for the life environment, and accelerated, inclusive, and resilient growth. Yes, you should have the accelerate, inclusive. Inclusive means all types of people, all people, the entire countries, the entire world should achieve the growth, because we know one country is affected, that will automatically affect other countries also. What happened the COVID time, we know. And war is also, if it is war is occurring in one country, it is not the consequence is not in that nation only, it is affecting all other countries also. That way, inclusive, resilient growth we should have. Accelerating progress on SDGs, a sustainable development growth, 17 goals or NEP is focusing on sustainable growth. That is, we should fully utilize our resources. We should maximum usage, minimum wastage. If water is there, we should minimum wastage and maximum utilization. Maximum utilization land, minimum wastage of, like that. And it should be an eco-friendly manner, because we should keep everything, our resources should keep it for the future generation. We should not fully waste it by utilizing. We should not waste it. We should keep it for the future generation in eco-friendly manner. And SDG 4 is, that is for the inclusive quality education for all. That is our aim of SDG 4. There are 17 SDGs we are aiming for in the NEP, and here SDG 4 is for education. Then technological transformation, digital public infrastructure is technological transformation. Even a layman knows how to operate even the payment, like that. So technological transformation and digital public infrastructure, it is not confining to a particular group of people, rich people or the skilled people or educated people. It should be for the public infrastructure it should achieve. And multilateral institutions for 21st century. Yes, we should have the multilateral institutions for the 21st century, and women-led development. So my report. That is the part 1 of G20. Yes, more about the G20 part 2. That is, I don't know whether I will upload along with this or not. Anyway, part 2 also, let me take the inclusive and broad-based 20 member states and 9 invitee nations and 14 international organizations. So in the invitees, and you know that South Africa was also there. That is why the African Union became the permanent member of G20 on 9 September during Indian presidency. Addressing the urgent concerns of the global South, Sri Prime Minister Modi ji has initiated 125 nations where consulted to is earlier itself 125 nations were consulted to express the voice of the global South. And in terms of its organization and program, Indian presidency is exceptional. It is an opportunity to showcase our culture, our tradition, and our heritage. Yes, we have seen that G20 in our presidency, we got an opportunity to showcase our culture, our tradition, and our rich heritage. Events have been spread across 60 cities. Popular participation and societal involvement of an extraordinary degree G20 contributed making India world ready and world India ready. Yes, that was the slogan. India, making India world ready and the world India ready. The declaration of the leaders agreed on the first day focuses on promoting strong, sustainable, balanced and inclusive growth. Sustainable, balanced and inclusive growth which seeks to accelerate progress on SDGs and come up with an action plan accordingly. Yes, this is not writing alone. We should come up with an action plan. That is implementation, how we will proceed, how we will implement it. So addressing the closing session. One more page is there. Yes, it envisages the Green Development Pact for Sustainable Future. It endorses high-level principles on lifestyle for sustainable development, voluntary principles on hydrogen, principles for sustainable resilient growth of economy, food security, and nutrition, among others. The transformative and inclusive role of technology has been highlighted with a focus on digital public infrastructure. The Indian presidency's proposal of a One Future Alliance also be noted. The G20 has been reaffirmed the fundamental importance of gender equality and committed to at least of the digital gender gap by 2030. Yes, we have to reduce the digital gender gap by 2030. Gender, that is the difference between we have seen that the 10th standard itself, the gender inequality, the male and female, that is women getting lesser opportunities, that should be avoided, and almost equality should be provided. And the leaders also emphasize the need to reintegrate multilateralism. We have to reintegrate multilateralism and reform international and financial institutions, particularly relevant in managing global debt vulnerabilities. Is in the global debt vulnerabilities are there, the nations together should solve it. Is that way we have seen earlier the gross domestic product, about 1% should be allotted, like that, the developed countries to the underdeveloped countries, like that earlier. So you can see there are many far-reaching and very consequential policies and decisions, requesting finance minister to keep the key issues of finance track, that is which are highlighted by our honorable minister Nirmala Sitharam. And here some more other events also. I am just not down here. The Prime Minister of UK, the Rishi Sunak, also declared about $2 billion in aid to the Green Climate Fund in the third session. Sri Modi ji also had bilateral meetings with leaders of several nations, including UAE, Comoros, then Turkey and South Korea. Indian Prime Minister held a walking lunch meet with the French French President Emmanuel Macron, and also held a pull aside meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And today entered with world leaders congratulating India for the successful presidency of the G20. India, and there came a conclusion that as I told you, the interdisciplinary project started from Silk Road to G20, and the G20 ends in India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. India, it stands for I, and India, Middle East, M, then East Europe Economic Corridor, IMEEC or IMEEC only. India, Middle East can be taken as one, and Europe Economic Corridor, including shipping and railway links, will be launched soon. That is a conclusion regarding the transportation, or that is how the Europe can be connected to India or the Middle East. Like that, or the is anything. I left one page here. Yes. Is addressing the closing session of the Geo Summit, Prime Minister Modi proposed holding a virtual session at the end of November to take the stock of the progress made on suggestions in New Delhi, handing over the gavel of the presidency to Brazilian President. Modi ji said we have full faith in the Troika. Yes, so next the presidency is transferred to Brazil. The gavel, the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji handed over the gavel of symbolic, that is a symbolic tool of gavel of G20, the presidency to Brazilian President. It is difficult to read it. That is Honorable Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. I don't know correct pronunciation. Anyway, Mr. Silva, the Prime Minister, the President of Brazil, and he announced the 2-day summit's conclusion: one Earth, one family, one future. Be joyful. May there be hope and peace. Yes, hope and peace. Peace is very important in the entire world, with good wishes of in the entire world, with the good wishes of this wish is not from Modi alone. It is the wishes of 1.4 billion Indians. I thank all of you.